Um, Hey, my name is Jessica Petty, and I just want to start out this class, Heal Your Inner Child, by saying that I am not a licensed therapist. So I just want to say that up front. I'm just a regular person. So let's start the slideshow. Here we go. Okay. So, um, hello and welcome to this class. Oops. Oh, shoot. Sorry. It's at the end of the class. Let me put this up. There we go. This class is really called Manifesting a Happy Life by Healing Your Inner Child because it's not just about heal your inner child, la la la. It's about creating the life that you want today by healing your inner child. Before we start, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had a moment where something small happened and your reaction felt way bigger than the situation? Maybe someone criticized you, maybe someone ignored you, maybe someone disappointed you, and suddenly you felt hurt, anxious, angry, or not good enough. Later, you might even think, why did that bother me so much? The reason is because something deeper was touched. Many times, those reactions come from parts of us that were formed when we were children. Little moments when we felt unseen, misunderstood, criticized, or alone. And even though we grow up, those younger versions of us don't disappear. They live quietly in our subconscious. What we're talking about today is learning how to reconnect with those parts of ourselves and give them the love, safety, and understanding they may not have received at the time. Today, we're going to explore something that is both incredibly simple and incredibly powerful. The idea that many of the emotional patterns we experience as adults actually come from experiences we had as children. This concept is often called inner child healing. The idea is that the younger versions of us still live inside our subconscious, and the beliefs we formed back then can quietly influence our decisions, relationships, confidence, and even our ability to create the life we want today. Today, we're going to talk about a framework for understanding those patterns and how we can begin to gently heal them. And I'll also show you how we can incorporate the Young Living Feelings Kit as a supportive tool while doing this work. Okay. Let me turn this off. It's making funny noise. Every moment of your life, every thought, feeling, and experience is shaped and run by the hidden memory scripts stored inside you. The core promise of this transformative process is both simple and life-changing. By learning to reprogram the childhood memory scripts stored deep in your subconscious, you gain permanent emotional freedom from old patterns of shame, fear, anxiety, and self-sabotage, while simultaneously unlocking a far more powerful and consistent ability to manifest happiness and the deeply satisfying life you truly desire. The idea behind this work is that our present-day thoughts and behaviors are shaped by emotionally charged memories from childhood. These are your memory scripts. These scripts were formed when we were young and trying to make sense of the world. For example, a child who felt ignored might develop the belief, my needs don't matter. A child who was constantly criticized might form the belief, I'm never good enough. And those beliefs can follow us into adulthood without us even realizing it. The idea is that when we heal the emotional charge in the memory, the scripts stop running our lives. So, who's driving the bus of your life experience? Your subconscious emotional brain controls your conscious thinking brain, and your subconscious emotional brain is programmed by your childhood memories, which became your memory scripts. Especially your most powerful emotional experiences as a child wrote the code for those memory scripts. So often, when we react strongly to something today, it's not just about what's happening now, it's about a memory our nervous system is referencing from long ago. So your inner child is still running the show until you give them what they missed. Until you do the deep work to give your inner child what they needed, you will struggle in your life. One way we begin this work is by visualizing ourselves as children. Imagine yourself somewhere between the ages of 3 and 18. You picture that younger version of yourself. You notice how they feel. And instead of judging them or correcting them, you simply listen. You approach them with the language of love and safety. Things like, I'm here now. I love you. I want to help you. This is called reparenting. You become the safe adult your younger self needed. We will also use the Young Living Feelings Kit in this class to help us heal our inner child, but more on that later. This is a simple 4-step process to rewrite your memory scripts and heal your inner child. First, identify an emotional trigger you know you struggle with today. Second, find the linked childhood memory connected to that trigger. What was the first time you remember feeling that way? Third, recognize the block, trauma, or emotional wound in that memory. And fourth, reparent the inner child within that memory. The goal is not to blame anyone or relive pain. The goal is simply to release the emotional charge that is still stored in the memory. Step 1, identify the emotional trigger. What negative emotion in your life now keeps showing up? Is it anger, shame, fear, anxiety, or something else? A trigger is something that causes a strong emotional reaction. Examples might include money stress, relationship conflict, work pressure, body image, feeling rejected, feeling ignored. When the trigger happens, we often move into a reaction pattern, and then we soothe ourselves somehow, sometimes with healthy or even unhealthy behaviors, sometimes with things like scrolling, overeating, overworking, withdrawing, or numbing out. The key is simply noticing the pattern. On a piece of paper or the notes on your phone, quickly jot down an emotion that comes up for you often. Let's find the linked memory childhood to that emotion. Once we notice an emotional trigger, we ask a simple question. When was the first time I felt this way? Often a childhood memory will appear. It might be something very small, maybe a moment when you felt embarrassed, maybe a moment when you felt alone, maybe a moment when you felt like you had to be perfect. The important thing is not forcing anything, just noticing what memory surfaces. You're going to reprogram that script with love instead of pain. There are 6 types of emotional wounds, traumas, or blocks that often show up in childhood memories. They are pressure, attack, neglect, narcissism, abandonment, and stifle. These are simply patterns that shape how children interpret their environment. Once we can identify which pattern is present, it becomes much easier to understand the beliefs we formed. You're not broken, you're just playing off of an old script. Let's talk about the first one, pressure trauma. Pressure wounds often come from being pushed or to achieve or perform in order to be loved. This can show up as perfectionism or feeling like you're never good enough. How to reparent your inner child in a memory with pressure blocks. Even if you had been exactly what your parent wanted you to be and behaved perfectly the way they wanted, they would still likely not be happy with you if you had a parent that put pressure blocks on you. Their happiness has very little to do with you, who you are, or what you do. It has everything to do with them, their own triggers, wounds, and unresolved pain from the past. You can try as hard as you want and behave as perfectly as possible, but if they carry trauma, they will almost always find something to criticize, including you. That's why step 4 in our process focuses on creating a healthy mental boundary between you and your parents and gently handing their pain back to them. Their pain belongs to them, not you. It is not your responsibility to fix their pain or to become the person they wanted you to be. You only need to do what you truly want to do and to become who you truly want to be. Journal prompt. Tell your inner child, I don't have to blank to be blank anymore. Fill in the blanks with what your parents pressured you to do or be. For example, I don't have to get straight A's to be loved anymore, or I don't have to be perfect to be taken care of anymore. The next one is attack trauma. Attack wounds come from verbal, physical, or emotional harm, or even the threat of those things. These can show up later as anxiety, hypervigilance, or feeling unsafe making mistakes. In healing work, the adult self steps in to protect the child and remove those harmful messages. How to reparent your inner child in a memory with attack trauma. If the memory contains attack trauma, whether it was verbal, physical, or sexual abuse, visualize yourself stepping in between the attacker and yourself as a child. If it was a verbal attack, see yourself stepping in and telling yourself as a child, whatever they're saying, it's not true. If it was physical or sexual abuse, see yourself stopping the abuse before it happens and protecting yourself as a child. This powerful act helps release fear and anxiety stored in your system now. Use the oils in the feelings kit to help clear the trauma. Journal prompt. Write down what kind of attack trauma you experienced in your childhood. Tell your inner child, that was wrong for them to hurt you. Your feelings about that are valid. You are safe and you are loved. Imagine your adult self giving your younger self a hug. The next one is neglect trauma. Neglect happens when a child's needs are ignored or minimized. Later in life, this can show up as self-neglect or always putting others first. How to reparent your inner child in a memory with neglect trauma. If you have a lot of childhood neglect trauma, focus on noticing your own needs and wants, separate from anyone else's, then voicing them and taking care of them. If this reparenting practice goes back into your memories, reparenting practice, go back into your memories and give your inner child what they didn't get enough of growing up. Listen to their needs and wants and meet them. Whatever was missing, food, love and appreciation, playtime, safety, attention, visualize yourself going back into that memory and giving it to them now. If it's food, bring them food and encourage them to eat. If it's love, tell them how much you love and appreciate them. If it's play, take them to the playground in your imagination or wherever they wanted to play and play with them. Use the oils in the feelings kit to help clear the trauma. Journal prompt. Write down what kind of neglect trauma you experienced in your childhood. Ask your inner child, what do you need? I'll take care of you. Imagine your adult self listening to your younger self and giving them what they need or want. Narcissism trauma. Narcissism wounds happen when a parent's needs dominate the household. Children often learn to suppress their own needs to keep the peace. Reparenting helps restore healthy boundaries and validate the child's needs. How to reparent your inner child in a memory with narcissism trauma. Revisit a memory with a narcissistic parent and let your inner child know that they don't have to take care of their parents' wants and needs anymore. In this reparenting practice, go back into your memories and give your inner child what they didn't get enough of growing up. Listen to their needs and wants and meet them. It was never their job or responsibility to take care of their parents or their parents' responsibilities. Let your inner child know that you are there to take care of them now and honor their needs and wants and put them first. Use the oils in the feelings kit to help clear the trauma. Journal prompt. Write down a memory of narcissism trauma you experienced in your childhood. Tell your inner child, you don't have to take care of your parents' needs anymore. I'm here now. I will take care of you. Imagine your adult self listening to your younger self and giving them what they need. How does that feel? Abandonment trauma. Abandonment wounds often lead to fear of being left or rejected. People may cling to relationships or tolerate unhealthy dynamics to avoid losing someone. How to reparent your inner child in a memory with abandonment trauma. Revisit a memory where you felt abandoned by your caretakers. Sit with them as an adult, comfort them, and stay with them. Reassure them that you will never leave them. Tell them you love them and how important they are. Use the oils in the feelings kit to help clear the trauma. Journal prompt. Write down a memory of abandonment trauma you experienced in your childhood. Tell your inner child, you are never alone. I am here with you now to stay with you and take care of you. You are important and loved. Imagine your adult self sitting with your younger self. One second. Stifle wounds occur when a child, so stifle trauma. Stifle wounds occur when a child learns that expressing emotions is unsafe. This can show up later as emotional numbness or difficulty speaking up. The healing process allows the inner child to express what they couldn't before. How to reparent your inner child in a memory with stifle trauma. Remember a time in your childhood when you felt like it was not all right to express yourself. Tell your inner child that despite what your parents taught you, it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Let them know that their thoughts and feelings are valid and normal. Allow your inner child to feel those feelings and think those thoughts. This will release the shame and the memory. Use the oils in the feelings kit to help clear the trauma. Journal prompt. Write down a memory of stifle trauma you experienced in your childhood. Tell your inner child you are never alone and I am here with you. Reparent your inner child in the memory. In the final step, we enter the memory as our adult self. We imagine protecting the child, comforting them, and giving them the reassurance they need. We might say, "You are safe. You didn't deserve that. I'm here for you now." The goal is to soften the emotional charge in the memory so that it stops influencing our present reactions. Create a list of childhood trauma memories that are the source of your emotional pain today. Next to each memory, identify the type of trauma block present for each memory. Then choose a memory. Talk to your inner child in the memory. Establish a boundary for what should not have happened. Undo the trauma by stopping it from happening and comforting yourself as a child. Tell them their feelings are valid. Then, as an adult, talk to your parent or other adult in the memory about the experience. This is the Unloving Feelings Kit. It can be a beautiful companion for this work. Essential oils work strongly with the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. So we can use them as anchors while doing reflection work, not as a cure, not as therapy, but as a supportive sensory experience. For example, Valor in present time can help ground the body before starting. Place on your wrists, feet, and heart and say, "I am safe to feel." During visualization in steps 1 through 3, use inner child and harmony on the heart and the third eye while talking to your inner child. They support healing. During step 4 of reparenting and emotional release, use forgiveness on the heart and the belly button and release on the liver, neck, and shoulders. Say, "I now give you everything you missed." Finish with present time and harmony for integration. A simple session might look like this for a 30-minute practice. First, settle with breath, grounding, and oils. Then visualize your inner child at whatever age you feel is appropriate. Talk to them and give them a hug in your mind. Then identify a trigger from your life. Ask when you first felt that way. Next, identify the emotional pattern. Then reparent the inner child in that memory. And finally, return to the present and journal your insights. Consider writing your inner child a letter for every traumatic experience and rewrite the script in the letter. Always end with grounding and self-care. Do this for 21 days and watch your life transform. You will become a different person by healing your childhood traumas and rewriting your memory scripts. This work can bring up emotions, so it's important to move slowly and gently. The goal is compassion, not pressure. The beautiful thing about this work is that healing the past changes the present. When we heal the script, the pattern begins to change. And as those patterns change, the life we create begins to change too. Most of us spend our lives trying to fix our future, but often the real transformation happens when we gently heal the past. So the work of loving our inner child is really the work of becoming the safest place for ourselves. We become that safe place we were always looking for. Essentially, you become your most loving parent. That's the presentation. I thought we'd do a quick meditation, kind of a run through. Are you guys up for that? All right, I'll just take that as a yes. I'm going to turn off the slideshow. Um, second. Oh wait, stop share. There we go. Okay. So you can just put some oils on, close your eyes. This isn't going to be long, just a few minutes, maybe like 5 minutes. So just relax. Let's take a few minutes to slow down and connect inward. If you'd like, place a drop of inner child or harmony in your hands and gently inhale. Now close your eyes. Take a slow breath in through your nose and slowly exhale. Again, deep breath in and release. Let your shoulders soften. Let your body relax. Now imagine yourself walking down a quiet path. At the end of the path is a younger version of you. Maybe you're 5, maybe you're 8, maybe you're 12. Just notice what age appears. Notice what you look like. Notice how you're feeling. Now slowly walk toward you. Sit beside your younger self. Look at them with kindness and gently say in your mind, "Hi, I'm you. I'm just older now. I came back for you." Take a moment to notice their reaction. Now tell them, you didn't do anything wrong. You are safe. You are loved. You don't have to carry this anymore. If they want a hug, give them one. If they want to talk, listen. Just sit with them. Let them feel that they are not alone anymore. Now imagine bringing that younger version of you into your heart. They are part of you. They are safe with you now. Take one more deep breath. And come back. Thanks so much for attending this workshop today. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I've just read some books and tried to understand some things. And I think for a long time, for me personally, I kind of thought this was a little silly. you know, like, oh, this little girl lives in my brain. She not only lives in my brain, she's controlling my brain. She's controlling every thought, every feeling, the way I see the world in every single way. And until we go back and talk to that child and give her all the things that she missed as a child, one by traumatic memory, each one, writing a letter, going back into each memory and healing it one at a time, you're going to keep seeing your life through the lens you're seeing it now. But that lens can change. We know that that happened with Gary, that Gary had a very traumatic childhood and he did this work and he healed himself and he built the powerful company that he did and became the incredible person that he did. But it took him a long time. And this work isn't going to be done in, what is this, a 25-minute session? This work, if you decide to do it, will take a long time. This video, we have a recording of it, so you can go back and watch the video to get the 6 trauma blocks, to get the 4-step processes of how you do it. I encourage you to watch the recording again. Get yourself a journal and start writing out those traumatic memories, and then seeing how, go back into that childhood self and see what happened in that memory, and how would you address that experience today. If you were an adult and you walked into the room and saw that happening between a child and an older person, might not have been a parent, might have been an older sibling or an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, or a teacher, If you walked into that room and saw that was happening, what would you do? What would you like? For me, I can imagine I would go in and go like, what is happening here? And go in and go like, talk to the child, say, this is not okay. This is not okay what's happening. And talk to the adult and say, I know you have your own trauma, that trauma should not be put on this small child. And now you're causing trauma within the child that they will carry lifelong. The scripts that you're running are the way that the adults in your life spoke to you as a child. And those feelings that you created at that time are running the show now. So if you don't want that to happen anymore, maybe it's money scripts, or I'm not good enough, or no one loves me. And then people leave you and you're like, see, I was right. People are leaving me. I was right. And you're creating the experiences in your life that you believe are true, but that doesn't have to be your truth. You can go back in and tell that inner child, you are loved, you are safe, you are important. Those things that they're saying about you are not true. You need to believe in what I'm telling you because I know the truth. You might know that in your head. You're like, I know I have worth. But until you tell that little child that, you won't believe it. You won't really embody it and believe it. But if you want to do the work, get a journal, start writing out those memories, and go back and in your mind, go sit with that little child and tell them that what happened to them was unacceptable. It is not right. And she deserved love. She deserved to be taken care of. She deserved everything she needed and wanted. And go back and give her those things now as an adult. You can do that. You can be the most loving parent your child ever had because you know more than anybody else exactly what they needed. And you can give that to them now because you truly understand it. Anyway, thanks, you guys. That's about 30 minutes. I appreciate you watching this. Go back and watch the recording whenever you can. You know what? I see some comments. Let's see. Or if anybody wants to pop on and say something, go ahead. I used to say the 7-year-old girl was still trying to get home without getting bullied. Yeah. And what if now in your memory you walked her home every single day as an adult so she was never bullied? She always felt safe. Love you guys. Thanks for coming on. Share this with a friend. I My sister was calling me. She's like telling me how her life isn't working out the way she wants. I'm like, I know what you can do. And she said, she said to me, she's like, but Jessica, what if I do all those things and it doesn't work? What if I do all the journaling and do all the work and it doesn't work? That's to me, that's just funny. Do the work. It'll work. You can heal yourself. You absolutely can heal yourself. You know how. All right. Thanks, friends. Bye.